We see Evelyn sitting at a desk. Then her husband, Waymond, comes to her. They discuss her father's party for a while until Evelyn leaves the room. At that moment, Waymond looks at a paper that states he is seeking a divorce. Later, we see Joy. Another girl comes and starts kissing her. Then they enter Evelyn's and Waymond's apartment. They eat there, and after that, Evelyn and Joy go to a laundromat that Evelyn owns. The mother passes the machines, making sure that everything is in order. She talks to Joy about her girlfriend, Becky, in the process. She also engages with some customers. Afterward, she and Joy go back to their flat and talk there. As they do, cameras in that room display Waymond jumping into the laundry room. And when Joy returns there with her mother, Waymond now dances with the man. Shortly after, Evelyn's father, Gong Gong, arrives and asks for his breakfast. He talks to his granddaughter for a little and tells her that her Chinese is getting worse. After that, Joy leaves with Becky. Her mother comes to her to say a few words before Joy drives away. She cries as she's driving. Then Evelyn and Waymond take Gong Gong someplace. When they get in an elevator there, Waymond opens an umbrella to cover the camera and puts earphones on his wife. His phone scans an alternate life path for her. Then when the door opens, Evelyn sees a younger version of her father. We see a collection of vital scenes taking place throughout Evelyn's life. When the montage stops, her husband gives her a note. He tells her to follow it and that he won't remember what he just did in a moment. After that, he returns to his previous state and they exit the elevator. The next scene has Evelyn looking at the note, which has very odd instructions. Then the lady they came to see, Deirdre, gets her attention. As she talks to them, Evelyn looks at the note and does what it tells her to do. That causes her to get transported into a closet. Her husband then appears there with her. He informs her that someone doesn't know that they are in this universe yet and that he's not her real husband. He adds that he needs her help so he can fight an evil in his universe. Afterward, Deirdre appears and brings them back to the cubicle. She tells them she sees a story in their tax receipts and that it doesn't look good. Soon after, Evelyn appears in the closet again and Waymond tells her there is nothing more important than their current conversation. And Evelyn tries to exist in both worlds, talking to her husband and Deirdre at the same time. Then someone finds them there and breaks through the door to take Waymond. He tells Evelyn to trust no one before he gets ended. And we observe that it is Deirdre that took his life. She follows it by slamming Evelyn with a pipe. This causes the lady to return to the cubicle with a scream. Then Deirdre tells them that they can leave and bring everything else to her later that night. When they go, Waymond finds Evelyn's note on the floor and expresses his disappointment. He then confronts her about it and it's uncertain what he is talking about. Meanwhile, Deirdre stands up and starts walking to them. Evelyn states that she's not ready to fight, but then strikes the lady, which brings her down. This causes her to scold Evelyn about the consequences of assaulting an IRS agent. Waymond then makes it clear that he was referring to a paper about the dissolution of marriage regarding him and Evelyn. While they bicker about it, Deirdre calls for security, and then the other Waymond appears. He tries taking Evelyn and then security arrives. They tell them to get on the floor. This prompts Waymond to take his wife's earphones and equip them on himself. He follows that by taking out some lip balm. After biting and chewing on it, he activates himself and takes off his purse. Waymond then unleashes a flurry of assaults with it, and manages to bring down all the security that way. Then Evelyn crawls out and states she doesn't know what's going on. He tells her that he's trying to save her life. Then he takes her and carries her away. After that, Deirdre introduces Jabu to Paki. She walks the area and hovers her finger over people. When she gets to another Evelyn, she touches her head with her finger. With that, we see how many Evelyns scream from different universes. The next scene has Joy sitting in a bar with Becky and watching TV. When she sees that the TV displays the area where her parents are, she gets up and walks away. Then Waymond explains to Evelyn some more about branching universes. He says that he's from the Alpha universe, the first one to make contact with other universes, and that he can be called Alpha Waymond. Then he tells her about Jabu Tapaki, how she is a being with great power, and Evelyn says she wants to be left out of this. Waymond then tells her that Jabu made something even worse than a black hole. He says that everything is getting worse because of it. Furthermore, he tells Evelyn that she's the hope to fight this evil. When they enter another room, they find Deirdre there. She powers up and goes after them. We then see the crew in the Alpha universe that helps Waymond become more skillful. They tell him that he must paper cut himself 4 times to get his powers. Eventually, Waymond manages that, but Deirdre is there to pick him up. She then slams him on her knee, but he saves himself with an exit sign. After that, she throws him into another room and blocks it. Waymond calls Evelyn and tells her she has to verse jump. For her to acquire powers, she has to tell Deirdre that she loves her and means it. Deirdre then comes to her and Evelyn says the words, but they get rejected and she appears in a truck. She speaks to another Waymond there about their divorce until Deirdre pulls her back into the office. When she comes to Waymond, he tells her she's the wrong Evelyn and he has to find another one. Consequently, Waymond returns to her and they move the blockade away together. As Deirdre comes to them, Evelyn tries to tell her she loves her a few more times, but they don't work. And then, on the stairs, Evelyn gets on her knees and says it again as Deirdre jumps at her. Her statement has now been accepted. We see her get transported into a car where she is glamorous. A montage of her life as a kung fu expert gets on display. When it is complete, Evelyn uses her martial arts to defeat Dare. With that happening, Alpha Waymond returns to her. He then takes her to a boardroom and tells her to eat for energy. She then expresses her desire to stay in that other universe, but Waymond tells her to snap out of it. He says if she tries to live in other universes, then she could lose her life. Evelyn then asks him to explain everything to her. Waymond tells her that she taught Joy how to verse jump and found she was very gifted, but then an experiment turned her into a being that could live in every world at the same time. Afterward, they leave the boardroom and Evelyn imagines that other world that she liked. She talks to another Waymond there and then returns to her world while the police put handcuffs on her. But then Jabu makes her appearance with a pet pig. One of the officers tries to handcuff her, but she doesn't let him. She touches his head and it explodes into confetti. Then she engages in verse jumps to destroy the other cops. As she walks toward Evelyn, another officer shoots her, but Jabu makes it so that her blood is ketchup instead. She follows it by destroying that cop. Evelyn attempts to talk to her as she backs away. She also tries to verse jump and appears in a universe where everyone has hot dogs for fingers. We then see an epic display of monkeys with such elongated fingers that brought about that evolutionary branch. After that, Jabu helps Evelyn open her mind. Evelyn sees a white room with a bagel inside. Jabu says that she put everything in that bagel, and the bagel is the truth, which states that nothing matters. As the bagel gets focused on, Gong Gong rides in and slams Jabu through the wall. Then he comes to Evelyn and says he's Alpha Gong Gong. Then the three of them are in another room. Waymond tells his wife that she is capable of anything because she's bad at everything. After that, Jabu knocks on the door, but Waymond says it's not her. He then returns to regular Waymond and lets Joy inside. Evelyn quickly tapes her to a chair. She then explains the situation to her and Waymond. Afterward, Gong Gong tells her to eliminate Joy because it will give Jabu one less universe she can access. So Evelyn approaches her daughter with a knife, but all she does is cut her tape. With that action, Gong Gong points a gun at her and considers Evelyn to be dangerous, and Evelyn starts verse jumping to convince her father otherwise. She ends up slamming him down with a glass and going to another room. That leads Gong Gong to call for many verse jumpers to stop Evelyn before she becomes another Jabu. When the verse jumpers appear in the room, they start activating themselves. Then Evelyn accesses a singer version of herself for increased lung capacity. She enters that room and does battles with all of them. She then accesses another version and fights some more. After beating them all, Evelyn encounters her laundromat customer in another room. The lady uses her dog to fight, but Evelyn beats her as a chef. And from that chef universe then comes a man to continue the battle. After fighting for a short while, they both lose their powers. Then the man tries getting to a skill-activating item, but Evelyn keeps preventing it. However, the security jumps in and uses it. When Evelyn regains her skill, she now engages with her new opponent. They fight for a short while and then the other one appears again. Evelyn manages to make them lose their skills and wins again. Then her father comes to press her against a wall. He gets a grenade ready to take them both, but Evelyn accesses another skill and pushes him away with her pinky. More opponents come out after that and she ends them all with her pinky power. Exhausted from fighting, Evelyn lies on the floor. Then Alpha Waymond comes to her and speaks about how her plan to save Joy might work. As he talks, Jabu comes to him in his universe and destroys him. That causes Waymond in Evelyn's arms to lose his life too. Then her Waymond returns to her and Jabu appears there. Evelyn believes herself to be ready and tries to fight, but she vomits instead and then loses consciousness. We then see that another Evelyn has finished watching that as a movie in a theater, but the original Evelyn's consciousness has transferred into her and she runs out. She then enters a room as the chef version and sees a raccoon sitting on a man's head. Once he comes after her, she transfers to other bizarre environments until she appears back at home. Things seem to have returned to normal. When Evelyn goes to the laundry room, she finds her daughter and Becky there. She tells Joy that she knows that Jabu is inside her. After that, Becky gets sent away and Jabu and Evelyn traverse through different environments. As they do, Jabu tells her that everything they do gets washed away by all the other possibilities. She follows that by asking Evelyn to hit her. She tries to, but several events get activated and the result yields nothing. Jabu then tells her to sit on the couch with her. When Evelyn does, they both fall into the white room. While there, they talk about Joy. Afterward, Jabu tells her that the bagel will show her the true nature of things. However, Evelyn states she just wants to live her life with her family. But Jabu shows her the bagel and says that she never wanted to destroy Evelyn. She just wanted to have her see and feel what Jabu does. What follows is a display of many different universes that Evelyn occupies. In the laundromat universe, she signs the divorce paper as Waymond watches it. Then Dare shows up with an officer and Evelyn approaches them with a bat. Soon after, myriads of universes get activated and Evelyn falls in the laundry room as a stone. After that, the stone appears in a desert with another one. The other stone is Jabu, who tells her they are in a universe where life never materialized. They converse for a while about the stupidity and insignificance of humans. And then, in the white room, Jabu asks Evelyn if she knows why Jabu made the bagel. It is to destroy herself. She also wants to do it with Evelyn by her side. Then in the laundromat, Evelyn sits handcuffed. She sees Waymond talking to Derder, and it concludes with Derder stating that Evelyn is set free. The officer comes to her and undoes her handcuff. Then Waymond comes to and informs Evelyn that Derder will give them 1 more week to make things right. In the fighting area, Waymond tells everyone that they're fighting because they are scared and confused. He says that he's confused too, and he adds that all he knows is they have to be kind. But Evelyn tells him it's too late. Then she takes his hand and hugs him in the laundry room. Following that, Jabu appears to ruin their harmony and taunts them. She then makes the bagel appear, which acts like a black hole, and instead of fighting, Evelyn allows the bandits to take her. When Derder is about to end her, though, Evelyn jumps through other universes to get the information to tell her she's not unlovable. And due to the hot dogs for fingers universe, she moves the bandits away with her feet. Then the moment comes when they open fire at her. She sees the bullet stuck to her forehead, and then she shoots at them using the eyes from the baseball bat. Following that, Evelyn climbs the stairs and gives each bandit what they need to receive, and she brings Jabu down. When Evelyn gives her her hand, a man starts attacking her, but she beats him and sits on his shoulders, controlling him like his raccoon. After that, she fights the bandits all over again until Gong Gong comes to her. He tells her to let go of Joy, and she asks him how he let go of her. She follows that by stating he sees his greatest fears in Jabu, in one person. She confronts him in the laundry room by telling him that she is proud of herself. She also says that Becky is Joy's girlfriend, and as she says that, Joy runs away. Then Gong Gong lets go of Evelyn and she chases Jabu to the bagel. Near it, they engage in martial arts with each other, and as soon as they start, their environments enter into a constant state of fluctuations. Eventually, Jabu holds Evelyn's head near the bagel. She tells her that's where they find peace. After calling her by her first name, Evelyn erupts and tells Jabu she is her mother. She then holds her daughter near the bagel and her father holds on to her, who in turn is held by Waymond. Afterward, Evelyn catches Joy near her laundromat. They speak to each other and Joy tells her to let her go. Evelyn does, and Jabu falls into the bagel. Then she comes back to Joy and scolds her for many reasons. Despite that, though, she tells her she will always want to be here with her. But Joy asks her why doesn't she go somewhere better than here, with these small specks of time. Her mother answers that she will cherish these specks of time. What follows is a flurry of climactic events throughout the different universes, and they resolve with Evelyn and Joy hugging. After all that, the family of 4 occupies their home and gets ready to do their taxes. They then arrive at the tax building and sit once more with Derder. We hear her telling them that there's an improvement. While her speech becomes muffled, Evelyn looks around the room, hearing sounds that probably come from different universes. Derder then calls her name and asks if she was listening.